सिंधु रामचंद्र रघुवीरा रामचंद्र रघुवीरा रणधीरा रघुरामा परमधामा वीरा रणधीरा रघुरामा परमधामा रघुनाथ जगन्नाथ मम बंधु सिंधु रघुनाथ जगन्नाथ मम बंधु सिंधु रामचंद्र रघुवीरा रामचंद्र रघुवीरा रामचंद्र गुरुदेवा दर्शन दीजो तुम हो जगत आता तुम हो जगत आता आओ गुरुदेवा दर्शन दीजो तुम हो जगत आता तुम हो जगत आता तुम्हें हो ब्रह्मा तुम्हें हो विष्णु तुम्हें हो शंकर रूपा तुम्हें हो ब्रह्मा तुम्हें हो विष्णु तुम्हें हो शंकर रूपा सृष्टि स्थिति लय स्वरूप तुम हो आनंद रूपा सृष्टि स्थिति लय स्वरूप तुम हो आनंद रूपा आओ गुरुदेवा दर्शन दीजो तुम हो जगत आता तुम हो नाता आओ गुरुदेवा दर्शन दीजो तुम हो जगत आता तुम हो जगत आता दीन बंधु तुम हो आनंद रूपा नाथ नाथ दीन बंधु आनंद रूपा अज्ञान नाशक शरण संरक्षक आत्मज्ञान प्रभाता अज्ञान नाशक शरण संरक्षक आत्मज्ञान प्रभाता आओ गुरुदेवा दर्शन दीजो तुम हो जगत आता तुम हो जगत आता आओ गुरुदेवा दर्शन दीजो तुम हो जगत आता जगत आता तुम हो जगत आता तुम हो जगत आता गगनानंद सदन अंग गगनानंद सदन महादेव शिव शंभो नंदन महादेव शिव शंभो नंदन मातंग वदनानंद सदन मातंग वदनानंद सदन माय विनाशक मूषिकवाहन माय विनाशक मूषिकवाहन माय विनाशक मूषिकवाहन माय विनाशक मूषिकवाहन मातमहेश्वर भवानी नंदन भवानी नंदन महागणपते मंगलशरणा महागणपते मंगलचरणा महागणपते मंगलचरणा महागणपते मंगलचरणा मातंग वदनानंद सदन मातंग वदनानंद सदन माय विनाशक मूषिकवाहन माय विनाशक मूषिकवाहन मूषक मूषिकवाहन विनाशक मूषिकवाहन मातमहेश्वर भवानी नंदन महेश्वरी भवानी नंदन महागणपते मंगलचरणा महागणपते मंगलचरणा महागणपते मंगलचरणा महागणपते मंगलचरणा मातंग वदनानंद सदन मातंग वदनानंद सदन नंद सदन आनंद सदन कृष्ण मुकुंद जनार्दन कृष्ण गोविंद नारायण हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण मुकुंद जनार्दन कृष्ण गोविंद नारायण हरे अच्युतानंद गोविंद माधव अच्युतानंद गोविंद माधव अच्युतानंद गोविंद माधव अच्युतानंद माधव सच्चिदानंद नारायण हरे सच्चिदानंद नारायण हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण मुकुंद जनार्दन कृष्ण गोविंद नारायण हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण मुकुंद हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण मुकुंद जनार्दन कृष्ण गोविंद नारायण हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण मुकुंद जनार्दन कृष्ण गोविंद नारायण अच्युतानंद गोविंद माधव अच्युतानंद गोविंद माधव अच्युतानंद गोविंद माधव अच्युतानंद माधवा सच्चिदानंद नारायण हरे सच्चिदानंद नारायण हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण मुकुंद जनार्दन कृष्ण गोविंद नारायण हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण मुकुंद जनार्दन कृष्ण गोविंद नारायण हरे कृष्ण गोविंद जनार्दन कृष्ण गोविंद नारायण हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण मुकुंद जनार्दन कृष्ण गोविंद नारायण हरे अच्युतानंद गोविंद माधव अच्युतानंद माधव अच्युतानंद गोविंद माधव अच्युतानंद गोविंद माधव सच्चिदानंद नारायण हरे नंद नारायण हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण मुकुंद जनार्दन कृष्ण गोविंद नारायण हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण मुकुंद जनार्दन कृष्ण गोविंद नारायण हरे कृष्ण गोविंद नारायण हरे कृष्ण गोविंद नारायण हरे सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शांति शांति। Together we will chant Bhaji Govindam verses 20 to 30. भज गोविन्दं गोविन्दं भज मूढमते सम्प्राप्ते सन्निहिते काले नहि नहि रक्षति दुःकृन्करणे भगवद्गीता किञ्चिदधीता गंगा जललवकणिका पीता सकृदपि येन मुरारिसमर्चा क्रियते तस्य यमेन न चर्चा पुनरपि जननं पुनरपि मरणं पुनरपि जननी जठरे शयनम् यह संसारे बहुदुस्तारे कृपया पारे पाहि मुरारे रथ्याचर्पठ विरचित कंतः पुण्या पुण्य विवर्जित पंतः योगी योग नियोजित चेतो रमते बालोन्मत्तवदेव कस्त्वं कोऽहं कुत आयातः कामे जननी को मे तातः इति परिभावय सर्वमसारम् विश्वं त्यक्त्वा स्वप्नविचारम् त्वयि मयि चान्यत्रैको विष्णुः व्यर्थं कूप्यसि मय्यसहिष्णुः भवसमचित्तः सर्वत्र त्वं वाञ्छस्य चिराद्यदि विष्णु त्वम् शत्रौ मित्रे पुत्रे बन्धौ मा कुरु यत्नं विग्रहसन्धौ सर्वस्मिन्नपि पश्यात्मानं सर्वस्रोऽसृज भेदज्ञानम् कामं क्रोधं लोभं मोहं त्यक्त्वात्मानं पश्यति सोऽहम् आत्मज्ञानविहीना मूढा ते पच्यन्ते नरकनिगूढः गेयं गीता नाम सहस्रं ध्येयं श्रीपतिरूपमजस्रम् नेयं सज्जनसङ्गे चेत्तं ध्येयं दीनजनाय च वेत्तम् सुखतः क्रियते रामाभोगः पश्चाद्यन्त शरीरे रोगः यद्यपि लोके मरणं शरणं तदपि न मुञ्चति पापाचरणम् अर्थमनर्थं भावय नित्यं नास्ति ततः सुखलेश सत्यम् पुत्रादपि धनभाजां भीतिः सर्वत्रैषा विहिता रीतिः प्राणायामं प्रत्याहारं नित्यानित्यविवेकविचारम् जाप्यसमेतसमाधिविधानं पूर्ववधानं महदवधानम् गुरुचरणाम्भुजनिर्भरभक्तः संसाराद्यचिराद्भव मुक्तः सेन्द्रियमानसनियमादेवं द्रक्ष्यसि निजहृदयस्थं देवम् भज गोविन्दं गोविन्दं भज मूढमते सम्प्राप्ते सन्निहिते काले नहि नहि रक्षति डुक्रुन्करणे We are studying the chapter 8 of Vedanta Treatise, and we have covered the topics in the chapter 8, culmination of human life. In the culmination of human life, we have covered the role of religion and the poem Pineapple and the Bee. And we are in the topic consummation of life. Consummation means the total completion of life. This is the topic we have been thoroughly studying and trying to understand what is the finality of human life. In that we also covered the very important portion, that is the example of a palace, and a palace has got the mirror house, and the mirror house is everywhere mirrors. And the palace dog story, dog entered and it saw variety of dogs in the mirrors, and it saw the differences other dogs and got jealous and panicked and got completely confused and knocked to the walls of the mirrors and collapsed and died. Whereas the king, who also entered the same mirror house for his decoration before presenting to the public court, public meeting, so he understands, even though there are different images inside the mirror, he understands that the image in the each mirror, above, side, right, left, below, beside, front, back, everywhere, himself only, the images. So he has got clarity. So the same way we have understood, the same metaphor we should apply to our daily life. We are so much caught up in the differences, diversities, varieties, pluralities, and clean miss the common denominator, the common core of the factor, the self, the Atman, common factor. We are not able to x-ray through. So we enter like a dog, then you suffer the consequences. Everybody is right now facing the stress, strain, worries and anxieties because they are soaked in these differences. The moment you gain the self-knowledge, the moment you understand every human being is just an imaginary projection upon the same reality. The physical body, mind and intellect different, but every human being has the same common factor called the Atman, the real self. The moment you penetrate, pierce through the body, mind, intellect and fix your interest and attention upon the self, then you are free from the stress and strain, worries and anxieties, and you gain the peace and bliss and happiness. And ultimately, with the same pursuing the self further, you reach the ultimate goal of enlightenment. So this is the example we studied thoroughly. The example, another example also, the sun is only one and the light is only one. All pervading light, the light has got only coming from sun, but various images of the sun, every dewdrop has the image. So that also we have studied. And also the sun and earth revolutions. Earth goes through day and night, but sun has no day and night. So the ups and downs, the varieties, the pluralities are the matter equipments, nothing to do with the self. The material equipments goes through these fluctuations of day and night, happiness and sorrow, heat and cold, joy and sorrow, honor and dishonor, everything applicable to only to the material equipment, not to your real self, not to the self within, and you are that self. So the identity with the self, unity with the God, the supreme reality makes you free from these fluctuations. So you have to utilize your equipments provided to you and the world only to transcend them, transcend the body, mind, intellect, and reach the original being, the abode of absolute peace and bliss. Use the body and to go beyond the body. Use the mind and go beyond the mind. Use the intellect, go beyond the intellect. That is the purpose, not to get stuck and go through these persecutions of body, mind, intellect and their sufferings. So the abode of peace and bliss, into the state of being, all physical pleasure, emotional joy and intellectual rapture dissolves. Everything becomes nullified once you merge into the Supreme Self. That is the culmination, consummation of human life. So people the world over do not realize this their real worth. That's also we little touched upon it. The absolute state of being that lies within themselves. They are so innocent, so ignorant of their real self within. The real worth is infinite potential, infinite reality, the infinite happiness of the self. People are not aware, they are ignorant. They have discarded the nectar of the divinity within, and they are trying to find peace and happiness in the external world of objects and beings, the discarding the self within. All the pleasure and joy derived from the world, extracted from the world, would not be worth a drop in the ocean of bliss within of your own self. Any amount of riches, any amount of wealth will not augment the pleasure of the self, the happiness of the joy, eternal bliss cannot combat with, cannot be equated. So it is like a drop in the ocean. So it is a blunder you commit in courting, in seeking, running after outward objects and beings. So people are chasing the world where there is no happiness at all, and they are clean discarding, clean missing because of sheer ignorance. The great happiness of the self within, the infinite joy within, they discarded. Judas Iscariot sold the Christ for 30 pieces of silver. So have you sold your Christ within for the shadows of pleasure of and the joy of the world? People are not able to recognize the greatness of this self unfoldment, self realization, the greatness of self, bliss of the self, unconditioned self. That is the pure happiness you enjoy, permanent happiness you enjoy, but people are not able to recognize. You ought to be wiser than that. Your own self has it all. Seek within. In the Vedic text Kenopanishad, the Guru deplores this grave blunder of humanity, that he cries out, he who finds the self here in this lifetime, he lives a truthful life, perfect life. Even if he leaves this pursuit of the self, gains the knowledge of the self, he discards it. It is an immeasurable loss. Iha cheta vedi data satyamasti. Nacheti ha vedi mahati vinashtihi. Nasta means loss, vinasti. Supreme loss, mahati vinashtihi. Greatest and supremost of supreme losses means immeasurable loss, unfathomable loss. The loss which is immeasurable, inconceivable, that is the loss of rejecting the self within. So that is what the Kenopanishad is categorically declaring. So the beautiful episode in the how the people discard the self, the Atman, it is very, very simple and easy if you understand, but it's very difficult, impossible, almost not at all possible for the people who don't have the idea about it. So it is very, very sad. Alas, alas, says Upanishads. So the beautiful story here, how the people discard it, people reject it, reject the self within. A prince went to a hermitage, a cottage, to pay his respects to a sage. A sage is living, a rishi is living, a prince was going alongside and he saw this cottage, hermitage, and in Indian tradition, any prince or a king, they always have a great respect for the sages and saints, rishis who are outskirts of the villages, living in cottages. while they go on the horseback, they see these cottages of the hermitages of the sages and saints. They get down and go and take blessings of the holy man, the sages and saints. So here also the same thing. The prince went up to the sage hermitage and prostrated, means sastanga namaskar. He fell at the feet by entire personality on the floor, prostrated before the holy man. The sage, for his wonderment, what he did, he promptly got up, rose, and prostrated to the prince. So the sage fell on the feet of the prince. First of all, prince falling at the feet because of he is a great saint. Now the sage, after this, once the prince got up, the sage fell at the feet of the prince. The prince was bewildered. The prince was startled, perplexed. What is this? Why sage is falling at my feet? I am nothing person. I am a small person. That's why he is wonderstruck. So he is confused. He recoiled and pleaded. He came to the senses, recoiled, and he asked, he requested, "Oh master, how could you do such a thing? How can you do such a thing, falling at my feet?" The sage asked in turn, the sage asked the prince, "Why did you prostrate to me? Why did you fell on my feet?" The sage asked the prince. Then, "Because you are a man of renunciation," the prince answered. "You are a sannyasi, you are a man of renunciation." Rejoined the prince, told by the prince, "You have given up the world. You gave up the sage." He is talking about the prince, talking about the sage, why he prostrated. "You have given up this world. You left the world, left the family, left the children, left the wife, left the relatives, left the house, left the property, left the name, fame, power, position, status, money, everything you left and went up to the tapas, to seeking the God, to seeking Atman, to get enlightenment, the liberation, mukti. You went for moksha. Therefore, you are a great renunciate, sannyasi. So therefore, I prostrated to you." He gave the reason and logic. You gave up the world, which we are all the people, ordinary people. We are running towards this world of name, fame. We are attached to the world. We are attached to the family, children, everything. We are common people, simple people. We are, as everybody thinks, we are having these worldly things. You attained the godhood. You got the godhood. You got the enlightenment. The sage softly inquired. Immediately the sage started inquiring, "Which do you consider superior of the two?" He questioned, which is the thing which is superior, costlier, quality-wise, quantity-wise, which is better than this comparison? What is the comparison? World or God? God is superior, world is superior. The prince immediately answered, "God, of course. God is greater than the world." The prince replied, "Then do you realize," continued the sage. Sage told, "Do you realize I have only renounced," continued the sage, "I have only renounced the world. I left the world and took up God, because you only told it is costlier, superior, higher than the world. I left the world, I got the God. I went for the God. But you are better renunciate, because you left the God and you took the world. You renounced God and you took up the world. Who is demonstrating greatest renunciation here? Myself or a prince you? Who is the greatest renunciate now? Tell me, the sage questioned. Immediately the prince woken up from his sleep, from his confused state. The prince woke up to the realities of life. He understood the importance of the pursuit of the self-knowledge, pursuit of the seeking of self, Atman, the enlightenment. As soon realized the absurdity of worldly pursuits. And very, very interestingly, he clarified, he understood the importance of pursuing the path of spirituality and gain the knowledge of the self and gain the enlightenment. So he left the world, he left the pursuits of the world, attachments, and he started learning the scriptures under the sage. So should you. Similarly, we are all get to the real source of peace and bliss. So we should be wiser than that prince. Prince in ignorance caught up in this world and discarded the godhood. Therefore, what has to be done? You should follow the footsteps of the saint, the sages. What is that sages are telling? Get to the reality, get to the godhood, get to the source of all this. These are all changing world of objects and beings, experiences of the body, mind and intellect, their perceptions and actions, emotions and thoughts constantly going. There is no permanency in this world. What is that? The real source of all this is the Supreme Self. The peace and bliss is within the self, within you. Realize the divinity of your own self. The entire world pales into insignificance. The moment you give importance to the God, the world becomes blurred. Now God became blurred and the world became reality today for every human being. World is real, God is unreal. Just like an example, you put the finger in front of you and you focus your attention on the finger, the backside of the sight is completely blurred. When you focus your eyes on the background of the finger will be out of the focus. It is simple as that. Where is your focus of attention? If you focus on the finger, the background is blurred. You can't see. When you focus on the background, the finger is out of focus. Now question is, where is the focus of attention of everyone? Their focus of attention is on the world. Therefore, God is blurred. The self is totally out of focus. Bring the focus back by knowledge of the self. By gaining the knowledge of the self, bring the focus of attention upon the self. Then the world completely goes out of the focus and you get to the reality. This is as simple as that. You get the consummation of life. If the entire world pales into insignificance, the moment you fix the interest, attention, concentration upon the self, I am Atma Brahma, I am the self, not this body, mind and intellect. The moment you have that understanding, this will be completely easily go out of the focus. This is the simple understanding one must develop. You will reach the state of enlightenment only through this focus of attention. No other method. The William Cowper, the great poet philosopher, extols this state in his poem, The Solitude of Alexander Selkirk. The Solitude of Alexander Selkirk. I am monarch of all I survey. My right, there is none to dispute. It's very interesting quotation. What is that? I am the monarch of all I survey. My right, there is none to dispute. What does it mean? The I is the self. The self is the supreme God, the reality. And you are the self. You are the king of the universe. I am the monarch. Monarch means king of kings. Chakravarti, the king of kings, means I am the monarch of all I survey. Means everywhere, wherever you go, I am there. All I survey. My right, there is none to dispute, because there is no duality, there is no diversity, there is no plurality except self and self alone. Anta Ramamayam, everywhere Brahman and Brahman alone. That perception you should be able to clinch it through upliftment of your intellectual clarity. You must be able to perceive the self in and through every experience. I am the monarch of all I survey. There is my right, there is none to dispute. Whom are you going to dispute? Dispute means fight or friction or otherness. How can you see any otherness when there is no other person existing except your own self everywhere? This is the maturity level of the enlightened masters. But the moment you are in ignorance, you see differences, diversities. Somebody is different from me. You are big, you are small, you are rich, you are poor, you are old, you are young, you are bodily differences, are religious differences. You are Hindu, you are a Christian, you are a Muslim, you are a whatever, the Jain, all the varieties, or you are a, you are a wife, you are a child, you are a mother, you are a father, you are a girlfriend, you are a boyfriend, you are uncle. Many varieties are, human beings are caught up because of feeling of otherness, not able to see the oneness in them. The self is totally clean drop. Therefore, the consummation of human life is step up your capacity of X-raying through with the powerful intellect and fix your interest and attention on the self in every human being. Ultimately, you reach the state of enlightenment by continued fixation upon the self, consistent practice on the self. This is the consummation of human life. So, you have to put the cart, you should not put the cart before the horse. You have to put the horse before the cart. Today, all topsy-turvy, all upside down. Everything, what has to be given importance, they have to give importance. What is non-essentials, they give importance. Therefore, everybody is suffering. So, you give the importance to the self, the Atman, and then intellect, and then mind, and then body, and then material and the world. This is the hierarchy you must follow. Then you will be in the right track, and the sooner or later you reach the enlightenment. If your hierarchy is wrong, you totally go berserk, go off track, and you lose the destination. This is what the consummation of human life. How to complete the human life is only finding the source of all experience, which is enlightenment. Then we get on to the next topic, which is personality chart. Having understood this consummation of human life, the role of religion, the importance of the pursuit of the self, gaining the knowledge of self, then how this personality can be utilized to reaching of the self. So this portion, this topic is thoroughly analyzes the current state of our personalities and how to use efficiently to reach the enlightenment. So the clear analysis of this topic if you properly study, understand, you could design a plan or a program and understand the positives and negatives, strengths and weaknesses, and where you stand right now, so that you can gradually get rid of those negatives and put on the positive effort and increase the effort towards the ultimate goal of enlightenment. For that purpose, this great Bhagavad Gita basically is the source of this personality chart. The great contribution by Bhagavad Gita is this personality chart, so that we understand thoroughly ourselves, how much we need to improve to reach the enlightenment. So the personality chart, the first paragraph, the state of self-realization. Where is the state of self-realization? God realization. Where is mukti? Where is moksha? Where is that immortality? That is a state of evolution. Like you are changing the states of being. When you are born, you are an infant state. Once you grow, you become a child status. Then you go to the teenage status. After teenage, you become adult. So there is a various states you go through. Similarly, there is a state of evolution for a human being alone. It is called state of self-realization, God realization, which is the ultimate goal of human mission, human being. That is the purpose of human being, why you have taken up a human birth itself. That state, where it is lying, where it is located, where it is available, here it is clearly presented, clearly provided. What is that? The state of self-realization lies beyond the three mental temperaments known as gunas. So, gunatita sthiti. The name of the enlightenment, another word is gunatita. So we are all made up of qualities, temperaments, natures, talents, proclivities, propensities, various inclinations, various qualities basically. So all these variety qualities put together come under three broad gunas. They call it in Sanskritam. They're called mental temperaments. Another word for the mental temperaments is thought textures. They are thought textures, type of thoughts, qualities of thoughts you are made up of, or you can say mind made up of thoughts. So there are three broad qualities which we are going to study later. Every human being, here itself he is going to give us, no matter whoever may be and whatever may be, wherever may be, whether he is highly evolved spiritually or he is at the beginning stage of spirituality or no spirituality, doesn't matter. As long as you are a human being, you are made up of these three qualities. What are the three qualities? Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. These are the three qualities every human being is made up of. They are called the gunas, mental temperaments, thought textures. What is the lowest quality is called tamas. Tamas is a state of thoughts of an inactive mind. When the mind is inactive, we say you are in tamasic quality. Inertia, lethargy, lazy, sleepy, gloomy, steeped in inertia. Inertia means a lack of movement. We also study scientific meaning, inertia definition also. A state of rest or uniform motion unless external force acts on it. You just routine mechanical life they live are the motionless. Unless some external agency acts on it, you continue the same thing. That is the state of inertia. indolence, heedlessness, indifference, carelessness. This is the state of mind which is tamasic guna. This is the lowest of the three qualities. We generally associate with the example in Puranas, Ramayana, especially the Kumbhakarna. The Kumbhakarna is the example for this tamasic guna. Every human being has this tamasic guna. Next, superior to tamas is the rajogunam. This rajogunam is better than tamas but lower quality, which is middle quality of the rajogunam compared to sattva is the higher. So rajas is that which is highly vacillating, fluctuating, oscillating emotions with frenzied activities coupled with a lot of mental agitations, disturbances, worries, stress, strain. This is the nature of rajogunam. Activities with a lot of passionate activity with a lot of vacillating emotions. And that is the state of mind. In Purana, that is next person is after Kumbhakarna his own brother, which is Ravanasura. Highly agitated, highly emotional, anger, greed, lust, jealousy is a vacillating emotions. He functions in an emotion, operates on emotions. And activities coupled with emotions, feelings, likes and dislikes, desire ridden activity is a lot of desire. There are a lot of this is the nature of rajogunam. And the last one, the superior most one is the sattva, the great quality of human being. Top quality of human being is sattva, is the highest quality of mind, wherein you are cool, peaceful thoughts, peaceful mind, no mental agitations and fluctuations. You are serene, tranquil, calm and composed, peaceful and equanimous, detached, meditative, contemplative thoughts which are serene. These are that kind of mind which is above passions, above worldly passions and agitations, above worldly excitements. It is very, very cool and detached from the worldly fluctuations. That is sattvic mind. So sattva, rajas and tamas, these are the three qualities every human being is made up of. No human being is exempt from any one of them. Then what is the reason for the variety of human beings? The variety of human beings is accounted because of the varieties of proportions of these three mixed up. So everybody is made up of these three, but everybody is different because different mix and proportions of these three gunas. So that's what this next paragraph is going to describe. These temperaments of sattva, rajas and tamas gunas combined in different proportions. They combined in different proportions account for variety of individuals in the world. Why there is a variety people? Even in one family, even though the cloning, the same twins or triplets or quadruplets or whomever you can say, even though their physical features are same, they're looking same, everything, but their rajogunam, tamogunam, sattvagunam mixture is different. Therefore, their lifestyle is different. So, the variety of individuals brought about by the variety combination of the gunas, different proportions of these gunas. That is the reason why the variety individuals are in the world. The role of a human being, the role of a human, the responsibility, the duty, the obligatory duty of a human being in his lifetime. What is your bounden duty by being born as a human being in this world is another way of looking at it is fixed here, is to gradually, slowly, gradually rise from tamas to rajas, from rajas to sattva, from lower to middle quality, from middle quality to highest quality of sattva, and what cannot be possible, you go beyond these three and become the self also. The self is the state of enlightenment which is beyond these three. So you have to rise from tamas to rajas and rajas to sattva and go beyond called trans sattva and establish there. That is the self-realization, God realization, wherein lies the supreme self. The self is beyond sattva. So that is the state of ultimate spiritual enlightenment. The enlightenment lies there, gunatita. So first you have to develop the negative or lower gunas to the higher gunas, better quality guna, and make the guna of sattva 100% and go beyond 100% also. And you become the enlightened, realized soul. There onwards there is no gunas. You become gunatita and then you reach the immortality. So to develop the personality, so what is the first mission in our life? Step up from tamas to rajas, from rajas to sattva, and keep increasing the sattvic content. That is our immediate mission, immediate goal. Then you keep improving that till you reach the ultimate goal. So to develop the personality and attain the transcendental experience, what has to be done? You have to first find out. You need to study and analyze these gunas thoroughly. We should know what type of gunas, how much each percentage we have. You can give whatever say you can say, but are you really made up of that much percentage of each guna or not? That is the question. So how much tamasic guna we have, how much rajasic guna we have, how much sattva we have, all three put together is 100%. Now each person may be 40, 40, 20 or 25, 25, 50 or 20, 30, 50 or 25, 35, 25, 25, 50, 35, 60 and 40. So 25, 35, 40. So different varieties of proportions makes different individuals. Now it is our bounden duty to analyze our personality, how much percentage we are made up of these three gunas. And it is our responsibility to change these gunas and to change for better gunas and from tamas to rajas and sattva as quickly as possible so that we can use our lifetime to reach the ultimate goal of enlightenment also, if it is possible, if we put the enough effort to refine our personality, to purify our personality in this lifetime itself is a greatest opportunity. So to develop the personality and attain the transcendental experience, you need to study and analyze these three gunas thoroughly. You have to understand gunas. Only tamas, rajas, sattva we have studied, but it is only superficial study. What is the superficial study? Okay, laziness, escapism, avoiding, the postponing, the inertia. Okay, but they are all very tough to understand. How much I am having really tamas? How do we know? How much we have really rajas? How do I know? How much really I have that sattva? Here, the great contribution here by Lord Krishna Swayam, he is able to give us the manifestation of these gunas in our day-to-day activities, in our personality, where the body, mind and intellect exhibits these gunas in their day-to-day activities. Therefore, by understanding, by studying this personality chart and these gunas and their manifestation, you can come to a almost accurate, may not be 100% approximate conclusion that how much percentage of tamas, how much percentage of rajas, how much percentage of sattva you are made up of. You will be able to get that picture, that percentages. Then it is, once you know you have this much percentage tamas, this much percentage of rajas, this much percentage of sattva, now you can clearly say how much I have to travel to reach the destination of enlightenment, how much I have to improve. It's like once you know from here to Hyderabad you have to travel. Suppose you are in Vijayawada or you are in Rajahmundry or where are you right now, if you know the rest of the path. If you do not know, you are in the dense jungle and lost in your own light, darkness, no light, no idea, no map, nothing. You totally directionless and dimensionless, and it will be very hard to figure out how to go. You don't have GPS, you don't have Google, you don't have map, you don't have anything. So you may be going against the direction of your destination. You may end up going away from the destination, and you will be in loss, immeasurable loss. We just now studied. So it is the rarest and greatest opportunity that the great Bhagavad Gita, no scripture, no shastra, no religion, nowhere in the world this contribution has been given, the personality chart, as much as it is given in our Bhagavad Gita, our scriptures. It is a very, very special, very, very unique contribution. So those who miss this one, they miss spiritual development completely. Unfortunately, hardly anybody knows about this personality chart. If you study that, you know how much simple and easy and how much easily you can correct yourself also. So to develop the personality and attain the transcendental experience of enlightenment, you need to study and analyze these gunas thoroughly, ascertain the nature of the gunas inherent in you. What are the gunas I am having, how much percentage each one of them, and how they manifest, how they express themselves. Suppose you have 50% of tamas, but how do you know until unless it comes out? You may have cancer, but until unless there is a symptom, there is some kind of a noticeable expression of some fever, some pain, some headache, some stomachache or something, you think that you are all fine, you have no problem at all. Similarly, how these gunas are there, but their expression, their manifestation, how they show in us, we should be able to figure out only when they show up. So here the manifestations are being described, how they manifest in different facets of your personality. Different facets means different areas, either body level or emotional level or intellectual level or various activities level. In the personality, the qualities, gunas express themselves. You will then realize what is well and what needs attention and correction. Once you know thoroughly what is perfect, what is imperfect, you can perfect the imperfections and keep moving towards the ultimate goal of enlightenment. If it is imperfection, you need to give attention and correct it and then grow. That is the way the growth is well and easily laid down to us. For this purpose, the Bhagavad Gita has classified action and renunciation under the three gunas. So to dissect this personality chart, Bhagavad Gita took up human activities and the outcome of activities, which is renunciation. So the action and renunciation both are divided into three gunas. And furthermore, the human action itself has been divided. dissected further into 5 constituents, 5 parts, various parts, action divided into. What are they? Knowledge, because you need, if you are acting means you need to have knowledge. So knowledge for the action, the actor who is acting, action is performed by whom? Actor. Intellect, okay, you have knowledge, you are an actor, acting, you are performing an action. But what type of buddhi, intellect you have to perform that action? So third one, buddhi. Fourth one is steadfastness, means consistency of purpose. Shraddha, how much shraddha you have, what type of shraddha you have. Do you have shraddha or not? What type of shraddha? That also 3 varieties are there. So shraddha, and their 3 gradations defined. So action, renunciation, they are the 3 types. Sattva, Rajas, Tamas are divided into this action and renunciation. Action itself divided further into everything 3 grades. What are the action? Knowledge, actor, intellect, steadfastness, and knowledge, actor, intellect, steadfastness, and action. So action is divided into 3 grades further. Towards the end, ultimately all this dissection has been done. You will get the ultimate goal of human being is happiness. Whoever may be doing, whatever maybe he is doing, he wants happiness. Without happiness, nobody performs anything. So, this happiness also 3 varieties. Sattvic happiness, Rajasic happiness, Tamasic happiness. 3 gradations defined. You will be knowing what type of qualities expressing these into your various actors. What type of actor you are. Tamasic actor, Rajasic actor, Sattvic actor. Action is good, Sattvic action, but you may be Tamasic actor. Or you could be actor is good actor, Sattvic action, but you have a Tamasic knowledge. Knowledge is Sattvic, action is Sattvic, actor is Sattvic, but buddhi is Tamasic. Buddhi is also Sattva, suppose, but Shraddha is Tamasic. So various combinations and permutations, if you study thoroughly, it's a very, very interesting where are we stand in this ladder of our evolution. It is a beautiful and simple and easy to see ourselves and rectify. If we are really interested in improving yourself, this is the best personality chart ever you can conceive and the greatest contribution. So happiness also. You may be enjoying happiness, but is it Tamasic happiness, or Rajasic happiness, or Sattvic happiness? What are the 3 varieties of happiness also well defined? So, all these gradations towards the happiness and renunciation have been also classified under the 3 categories. Thus, grades of Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas have been projected on all these facets of a human being. Every facet, every activity, every feeling, every thought, every idea, every personality, microscopic level, well defined by Lord Krishna and helping us to rectify ourselves and grow into the higher dimensions of spirituality and reach the enlightenment. An analysis which enables you to define the exact nature of your personality. How much percentage of sattva you have, how much percentage of rajas you have, how much percentage of tamas you have. At the end of the entire analysis, you could make yourself a personality chart and give yourself a rating. Where are you at this moment, so that you can step up by putting effort and change yourself for the higher evolution. So it holds a mirror to your inner quality and character. So the character and quality, everything we are studying, this is the perfect blueprint the clear picture. It becomes a mirror to fix our qualities and characters of the personality. Your nature clearly defined, you can administer. The moment you have a tamasic, you can administer. I don't want to be tamasic, I want to be sattvic, So you change, you put effort to change that tamas quality into rajas and sattva and increase that. So your nature is clearly defined. You can administer corrective measures where there are faults. So if you have a tamasic actor, you change into rajasic and sattvic actor. If you have tamasic intellect, you change into rajas and sattvic intellect. Everything, first you should be thoroughly understanding each one, and you can see like a microscope how much each one you have. If you don't have, you are happy, saved. If you have, you better correct and change from tamas to rajas to sattva. That is the evolution. So that should be kept in mind, back of your mind, and study thoroughly, and then you can use your efforts efficiently, productively, properly, carefully to reach the ultimate goal of enlightenment. Perhaps this life is a greatest opportunity. If you are very crystal clear, you will be able to use and reach it. So, and rise gradually to the trans sattvic state. Even if you spend, even though you change some percentage, Lord Krishna says that's also enough. You have done your duty for this life. You don't have to be demotivated that I have to reach the self. Oh my God, I am very far away. There is no such thing. It is nothing to do with where you are right now, but what is your direction of movement? Are you in the right direction? You are in the wrong direction. Like I told you, if you are in Vijayawada, you have to go towards Hyderabad. You should know the direction first. Either you are in Vizag or Ankavalli or Rajahmundry, it doesn't matter where you are, but if your direction is proper, anyway you are putting effort to movement and all, definitely one day you will reach. That is the great assurance by Lord Krishna. In fact, even though you don't reach this lifetime, you anyway consciously or unconsciously, every human being is trying to reach the self only. Like every river is trying to reach the ocean. So one day we will reach the self. Why can't this lifetime is the question. With this, we will start with this personal chart thorough analysis in the next class. From the portion of first we will take up knowledge in the next class. Thank you very much. Hari Om.